Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fisherman, Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WTRM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Holy smokes. Good morning. My goodness. I usually start preparing for the show about a half an hour ahead of time. And this morning I found myself way behind the clock. Went out for a walk with the dog and it was really chilly. Quite the chilly thing out there. Having a little bit of a problem with my board this morning. Anyway, let me welcome my co-host, that is Carolyn. She's with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, who are you going to talk to? Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Good morning.
Good morning, Riscala. Yeah, you were 100% right. It's 58 degrees in South Florida where I am right now.
A little bit on the nippy side this morning. I'm so far behind. I usually pull up the radar and I check the tides and all that. Didn't have time to do any of that this morning because I got up so late. It was just one of those mornings where I thought it was one time and actually it was a little later than that. So anyway, we'll roll right along. We have quite a few people lined up for today. Now, let's see. Did you get to do any fishing last week?
You know, I was lucky. Here's what a friend called me and said, hey, I have to do a sea trial on my brand new 41-foot Onslow Bay Center console. You want to go? And I said, heck yes. So we jumped on the boat, went out there. There was no one out. It was flat calm. He happened to have a couple spinners on him, a little bit of bait. Let me tell you what, we bottom dropped, we snapper fished in about 70 feet for a short time, and it was, the whole ocean was ours. It was awesome.
I love it. So what'd you catch?
Yeah, a couple little yellowtail snapper, a couple little grouper. You know, we didn't keep anything. We just went out there kind of just for fun and play. And but it was great. I mean, the water was clear. It's still pretty chilly. Wind is up. I can tell our listeners right now. I always check the seas and getting the conditions, and it's going to be 4 to 6 foot, occasional 8 today. Wind is blowing pretty heavy, and it's going to stay pretty bumpy for the rest of the week. I know that you're the expert in the tides, but I can tell you high tide is 7:02, so anybody needs to get the boat off the lift, now's the time to do it. And it's going to be pretty darn windy today here, at least on my side over here in Deerfield. And
I think it's going to be pretty much the story all around Florida today. It appears to be a front that is coming through. And, of course, as we have the fronts that come through, we get the crazy weather, we get the rain and the wind, and then we get the calm behind it, or it'll cool down a little bit. As I've got the radar map out, and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot happening with regard to the radar map. There is some activity north of us, and it appears to be that activity is going to be moving in our direction here eventually. But that doesn't look like it's going to happen until later today. That may be where the pickup in the seas is coming from, because that's up near Jacksonville, up in the Georgia area, and it looks like an area of disturbed weather, so it may be kicking up the waves coming down this way.
You know what? And what makes no sense is, I love my Earth cams, and I actually logged on to Fort Lauderdale and sent you a picture a short time ago with the sun
I saw that.
up, and it's
that's gorgeous.
Pretty out.
It's like a
gorgeous.
puddle.
It's flat. Yeah, and I don't know where those huge seas are going to come from, but they're supposed to be kicking up in the next few hours.
Isn't it? I find it so amazing that you can be out on the ocean. It can literally be like a puddle. It can be so calm. It's just unbelievable. I love those days because you can see all kinds of stuff going on. You're not fighting the waves, if you will, and fighting to stand up. There have been times when I've been out on a boat and we're just fighting to stand up, from all the rocking. And when it's days like that, oh my gosh, I remember we came across probably part of a dock. It looked like it was like 10 feet by 10 feet piece of styrofoam floating in the water, and we were circling it, and fish, little bait fish up underneath it. We really never caught a whole lot of anything. Caught a couple of small dolphin. There wasn't any schoolies around to follow them, but it was so calm and so clear that I spotted this thing from probably 400 or 500 yards out. Now, if you've ever been out in the ocean and you try to spot something, you understand that it's almost, if you don't keep your eyes on it the whole time, it'll disappear. It's almost like goes into a black hole. This thing was so big, and of course it was white, and it was so calm since there wasn't that motion of it going up and down, and you'd lose it in between the ups and the downs. And we kept an eye on it. It was truly an amazing day. Clear, the water was clear, the water was calm. I don't know if it helped too much on the fishing side of things, but it sure made it awful nice to be out there.
That's a great thing to do, and I know how hard it is to spot those things. And for our listeners that aren't offshore fishermen, usually small bait will pool underneath something that's floating, and then the bigger species come in, and then the bigger fish. So there have been times we pulled up to even a floating Publix bag and caught nothing but dolphin. I know Angelia will be upset, but dolphin and wahoo, and then someone wants to jump in and take a look and see what's under there. So it's your own little aquarium there, and boy, you get some productive fishing from something floating out there. But it could even be a tree stump. You never know.
I was thinking about you this weekend. I read a story. I don't know if they had your equipment, but a boat was stolen, and the owner was notified upon the boat moving. Sounded like your equipment. He got notification that his boat had moved. He called the police, and they tracked the boat down to they were just getting ready to unhook the boat at somebody's house. The cops pulled up. And I thought about, oh my goodness, I wonder if that was Atlas Trax. If it wasn't, it's right up your alley. I mean, everything that they described is what Atlas Trax does. Somebody came up to the boat and moved the boat. They got a warning. They called the police. Literally within 5 minutes, they had these people cornered. It was amazing. So just something that came to mind while I was thinking about it. I think we have Robert on too as well. Good morning, Robert.
We do. I hear him there. Absolutely. Unfortunately, it wasn't my equipment to just answer the question, but I did reach out to them and see what I can do to help them.
Cool.
In the future. But absolutely, good story, success story.
Yeah. They got their boat back. That's really what counts at this point. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning. How is everybody?
Excellent. Happy Sunday. I think we missed you last week, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I was in Orlando.
He was playing hooky. That was supposed to be a joke. It's a fishing show. Hooky, get it? Blah, blah.
Yeah.
That is brilliant, by the way, for Sunday morning.
Well,
Robert, did you get to do any fishing last week, my friend?
I did not. I was helping my son up at his house, and then I got back, and I started working on the magazine again and some other stuff, and it's all I've had time for. So
we have, what is it, the Meat Mayhem? Is that going on today? The Meat Mayhem tournament?
Palm Beach Meat Mayhem was actually yesterday. I was supposed to be fishing against Mike Simcoe, but the boat that I was supposed to go on, I guess a couple of the guys, CB dumped a couple of other guys as far as they didn't want to go. So unfortunately, Mike fished it. I'll have to find out how he did, but that was yesterday.
Was it for both days or just yesterday?
That's a good question. I'll look that up, but usually they're 1 days. And this is Meat Mayhem. Usually they one in the Keys in January, one in Pompano, and this one they added to Palm Beach, and there's one supposed to be on the West Coast coming up.
Wow.
It was like 6 to 8 feet out there yesterday. I don't think there was a whole lot going on.
Then I really don't feel bad about being dumped.
There was probably a lot of chumming going on.
My friends will be on in a few minutes from My Island Adventure Charters. They were chartered yesterday, and I think they came back in. I think the people after they got out there went, "Nah, that's enough of that." So
6 to 8 feet is no fun.
Goodness.
That kind of takes the fun out of it when it's you're literally fighting just to stand up at that point. And
my knees don't do that anymore. So.
Oh man, it's fun getting old, isn't it? Well, we have the Meat Mayhem. You know any other tournaments going on, Robert?
I do know. I think the cobia tournament on the West Coast is coming up. They run that out of McRae's every year. That's coming up, and I've seen a lot of cobia coming in, so it should be about that time. So. A lot of pictures of cobia and a lot of pictures of wahoo on the East Coast. So
we're having wahoo season. I thought this was like sailfish season, or am I wrong?
Well, the funny thing is the mahi have never left. And
don't tell
I was
Angelia.
talking to my friend Patrick Price about that, and the only thing we can figure out is because there was so little pressure on them last year and so little pressure on the bait fish that they follow, they just hung out because they've been here all year. They've been here since last March.
That's amazing.
It's a very, very good thing that Angelia will not be on the show today to hear that.
They're still catching them down there too. They seem to have actually congregated in the Keys. Against the grain charters, came in with about 9 of them yesterday, and they've just never left.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. I think it's the first time I've ever had them around all year long. I don't remember ever having.
It's the first time they haven't had that kind of pressure put on them.
That's true.
Ever.
Yeah.
That I'm aware of. So.
Now, from what I understand, go ahead, Carolyn.
What?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and you were mentioning in tournaments, there's a really, really fun one that anyone that lives in that Fort Pierce area, April 14th to the 17th. It's the Southern Kingfish National Championship, and it's a 3 or 4 day event, but they have tents set up, there's barbecues. Anyone that wants to kind of walk around, it's free. Get a feel for what it's like for guys coming in and gals weighing their fish at the end of the day. That's a really good one. So any of our listeners that want to go to Fort Pierce, Florida, April 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, it's the Southern Kingfish Association's National Championship. It's a lot of fun to go to.
Wow.
That would be fun, yeah.
Well, now I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to ask Robert a question. That's the joys of getting older. You walk into a room. What did I walk in this room for? But there's an advantage to that. See, when I go to watch a movie that I've seen before, it's like watching it for the first time all over. Watch it for the first time all over.
I don't remember that. I don't remember this.
Oh, Lord. So I wanted to ask you, Robert, with regard to the sailfish, they are still around? Have you got reports of sailfish still happening?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sailfish, wahoo, and mahi all at the same time.
Wow. And so and now I've seen some of the pictures that people are sending in for the Florida Fisherman magazine. Some awesome fish are being caught. Yes,
there are. Like I said, I've got some pictures of some absolutely phenomenal wahoo that were caught. And a 52-pound mahi.
Oh, my goodness.
And
wow.
Then I forget which captain it was. One of the captains down in the Keys with a boat full of sailfish flags. I think he released 30, he said. So.
Wow.
Wow. And in the past, I didn't know what that was like until we went down to Isla Mujeres, Mexico, and we hooked up to 27 of 31. And at a certain point, you say, I don't want to catch anymore. Don't make me do it.
That's enough. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you, I was with one girl, and she only wanted to catch 3. I said, we flew all this way, and you wanted to catch 3? That's it?
You're done?
You're kidding me.
Yeah. Yeah, and absolutely. That was and then I had 10, and I said, I'm done.
Well, I can somewhat relate to that. We went out mako shark fishing one time, and what they did is this was down in the Keys, they took us down to a place called the 409 Rips. It's kind of like a mountain underwater, if you will. And there's big amberjack there. So we went and caught amberjack. We caught 2 amberjack. I was worn out in about 10 minutes, the first one. They were about 65.
Yeah, amberjack will do that to you. So.
65, 70 pounds a pop. The purpose of catching them was to get them to bleed, and then we cut them up and use them for bait. But I was so sore. Oh, my gosh. It was like I went and did a workout with weights. And especially the next day. I mean, I knew I was going to be hurting because I was already hurting that day. I knew the next day when my muscles had a chance to rest for a while. I didn't want to fish and that's not like me, but I didn't want to fish for about a week. Oh my gosh. My arms, my back, my stomach. You wouldn't think that you're using your stomach when you're reeling these fish up, but you're using muscles that you don't even know you got.
Go amberjack fishing, it's the same as going to the gym, so.
It was really amazing. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Well, when I spent a little time with Angelia, when she popped over my house and stayed with us for the night, she showed me a video of her hard jigging at 350 feet and with a spinner for a huge amberjack. And I thought I could not believe she did that all day because, and I kind of poached it off her phone. I'll pop it up on both of your websites, the Facebook pages. I don't know how she didn't have a heart attack because it was such hard work. And when that fish hit, she just laid into it. And boy, I think it's one on her Facebook page where it's almost as tall as she is.
Wow.
And that looked like hard work.
Wow. I know that's a tremendous amount of energy that those things are unbelievable. Go ahead, Robert.
Speaking of some fish, though, there's a lot of some great inshore fishing. And you're talking about jacks. I've seen a lot of big jack crevalles being caught. And if you're on light tackle, that is a war.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun. They're useless to catch, but they are a lot of fun to catch. So, but that and a lot of big redfish, some snook. So the inshore fishing's been great too. So anybody that can't get outside, just stay inside.
It's going to be one of those days where the seas aren't going to be too cooperative for the smaller craft. So hey, get off the shore, and there's a lot of places that you don't have to be in a boat to go fishing. We were.
That's a fact.
I visited the Lake Worth fishing pier on Friday. There wasn't a whole lot of action going on, and I was surprised at how calm it was. With all the wind that we've been having, it was really, I mean, less than 1 foot there at the beach. And as the afternoon kicked in, the water kicked up a little bit more. But I was really quite surprised when we went down there and this wind happened. I think what was happening is as the wind was blowing in the right direction, it kind of calmed them down. It wasn't raising the waves. It was calming the waves down. It was really weird. And I kind of looked like what Carolyn sent me this morning, just unbelievably calm. And then you realize, it's coming because the wind is there. 2 and 2 did not add up to 4 on Friday because I figured when we got out there at the beach, it would be just rolling and rolling, but it's complete opposite. I was really shocked.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, I went in for some of my yearly checkups this week, and it was so cool because some of the ladies that were the nurses were telling me how they just bought their first fishing reel and they really hope to get a fishing rod soon, and they were going to go over to Walmart and pick something up, and they just pull their car on the side of the road. They find a canal. They cast and cast and cast until they find something, even if it's seaweed from the bottom. They don't care. And it was so neat to hear ladies just talking about, hey, I just started fishing and I'd love it.
That's the kind of stuff.
That's the beauty of Florida. You can fish anywhere here.
That's true.
You can fish lakes. You can fish inshore, the rivers and the intercoastal, and there's so many places to fish in Florida. If you can't find fish in Florida, you're just really not looking. So.
No doubt about that. So Robert, I've got a bunch of girlfriends that are going to be sending me up some pictures, and these are all a bunch of new anglers as well. They chartered a boat, like you said, your friends did, and went out and fished for their very first time. And I hear some of the video is pretty hysterical. We've got everything from laughing and falling down and a couple seasick girls. But you know what? They all stuck it out. They stayed out for the day, and they had a hell of a time. So I'll have to get you some really funny cuts. It's like watching your own comedy show.
Sounds good.
One girl wouldn't touch the bait. One girl bit the bait. I mean, it was all over the scope of things.
She bit the bait?
Oh yeah, one had to taste it.
Oh
my
goodness!
What it tasted like. It was pretty funny. But they all had a heck of a time, and I can tell you they're hooked. They're going to be going out again. So who knows? Maybe we'll bring them out with the pink ladies.
Do you remember Terry Huffmaster? I think her name is. You remember her? We had her on the show a while back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she put a picture up on Facebook. She had 3 fish, one in the right hand, one in the left hand, and one in her mouth.
Oh yeah, she's a great gal.
Oh,
Let me
my
tell you
goodness.
what, she is a great angler, and
Yeah.
I can't wait to meet her. Every time these women that have been talking on Facebook eventually get together, it's like we've known each other a million years. Just like you met Angelia.
Yeah.
Never met her, and it's like we hung out every single day.
That was awesome. Yeah, I thought it was funny. She had one in her right hand, one in her left hand, one in her mouth.
Well, you only have 2 hands, so.
Yeah, it's true. All right, Robert. Well, we're at that point now. Before we go, the Florida Fisherman magazine, is the new edition coming out? Where are you at with that?
Yep. It hasn't changed yet. It will change the following month to New World Angler. But after
Oh, congratulations!
Fisherman magazine.
You got a new name.
It will be.
So it will be.
That's exciting.
It will be the New World Angler. Is that what it is?
Yep, we already got the logo done and all of that, but
hot dog.
We've gotten a lot of stuff from New Zealand and from Australia and from people around the world that want to participate. So have to expand a little bit.
Well,
that's exciting. Congratulations.
With world as part of the name, I can't imagine how much bigger you can get at that point. So that makes sense. You get people from all over and wanting to send you pictures and stuff. That's pretty cool. New World. What's it called? New
Angler.
New World Angler.
It will be New World Angler.
New World Angler. Be looking forward to that. So that'll be next month. And this month will be the last month for the
Florida Fisherman. Yeah, this will be the last Florida Fisherman magazine.
All right. And people can still send you pictures and stories and things like that?
Absolutely. Nothing will change. Nothing will change. Just the name is changing so we can include some new people. That's it.
And what about the send to addresses? Will they change as well?
Nope. Everything will stay the same.
Okay, cool. That makes it really simple. So if you got something you want to send him, where do you send it, Robert? If they got something you want to...
Send it to pages@flfishmag.com.
And he, if it falls along the parameters of his what he's looking for, he'll put you in there, your pictures, your story. He's happy to share it with people. It's a pretty awesome magazine because it's kind of like a magazine that is really supported by the people themselves. You have all these different people that send in a variety of different information from, oh my gosh, all over the place. Like you said, as far as across the big ocean. It's pretty awesome, and it's nice because it's digital. That's really the separation between a printed article, printed magazine, and the Florida Fisherman magazine. Since it's digital, you can have pictures, you can have videos, you can have audio, so it makes it a little more interesting to go through.
Yeah, and there's links to people's websites in there, and links to their social media pages. It's a lot. I don't know. I think it's probably the future of magazines, but I don't think there will be many print ones forever. But these will be around forever, I believe.
Yeah. All right, my friend. I wish you an awesome day. Thank you so much for calling in. I greatly appreciate it. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity.
I'm going to stay on so I can introduce Ashley and Tim.
Oh, good.
All
right. Yeah, you're more than welcome to do that. Yep. All right. Let me set this thing up here, and we'll go to a quick break, and then we'll be back, and we'll bring Ashley on. Let me see if I can find it. Everything is so messed up this morning. Here we go. Let's see if this will.
You're listening to the Fisherman Florida Show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclubb.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
Want to give your pet the celebrity treatment? Have you heard of Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care in Royal Palm Beach? They're located just off State Road 7 and have been servicing the area for 14 years. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care is the home of the Blueberry Facial, also specializing in tartar removal with 8 years of assisting in dental procedures. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care? They're more than just about dogs. They are the only experienced cat groomer in the area. They also cater to all breeds and sizes and open 6 days a week. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, located just north of the Super Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. You can find them at 250 Business Parkway. They specialize in shampoos with no extra charge. Flea and tick dips also available. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. You can give them a call at 561-793-9992. They also provide gift certificates for those looking for that special present. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. 561-793-9992. They're located in Royal Palm Beach. That number, 561-793-9992. Call for your appointment today.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper, so I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show on the new Trim Radio Network. I've got to change that ad. I thought we took care of that, but we didn't. So we are on the new Trim Radio Network. There are several different ways you can find us. You can go on the web, www.WTRMradio.com. You can go on Facebook, click on if you go to our Facebook page, Fishing in Florida, click on Contact Us, and we will have the app sometime this coming week. It was already supposed to be ready this weekend, but we ran into a little bit of technical difficulty. The app is free. The app is for the Android. The app does not have adware, spyware, or push notifications. It's just a simple way to listen to our network. A big thank you to Marina Rock Radio, one of our affiliates. If you have the TuneIn application, you can find us at Marina Rock Radio, of course, on Sunday mornings. And I think that's it for the updates for right now. So let me get back to my co-host, who is Carolyn with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to my friend Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Well, thank you, Riscala. You know, a Sunday doesn't go by without me hanging out with y'all.
Thank you so much. I know, I greatly appreciate it. And let me bring Robert back. Robert is with the Florida Fisherman magazine, soon to be the New World Angler magazine. Congratulations, Robert.
Thank you.
And let me bring up our next guest. And Robert, if you would be so kind to introduce our next guest for us.
These are my friends Tim and Ashley Hoban from My Islands Adventure Charters out of West Palm. And they were out yesterday briefly, I think. And I don't know if they're out this morning. They might be out there right now. So,
well, let's find out. Ashley and Tim, welcome to the Fishing in Florida Show.
Hey, how are y'all doing?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, my friend.
Yes, we can.
We were supposed to be out today, but after the north wind that was blowing through, I was like, it's going to be too rough. It was really rough yesterday, and I just went by the beach this morning, and it's flat, but there's like 10-foot waves crashing on the shore. So,
Really?
Looks like a beautiful day. I kind of want to call my people and see after this radio we go back out and see if we can get some sails.
Well, now, Carolyn, our co-host Carolyn says that, what was it, Carolyn, 6 to 8 feet?
6 to 8, close to shore, building a little bit more later on today. But when I look at my beautiful sunny cam, Earth cam,
Yeah,
it's flat calm off Fort Lauderdale right now.
Somebody's got their wires crossed.
Subject to change without notice.
There you go. There you go. Well, Tim and Ashley, welcome to the show. I wanted to ask you, other than yesterday, did you get to do any fishing this last week? And if you did, what did you catch? What did you use for bait? Where were you?
We've been out every day. Today's the first day I've had off in 8-9 days. But every day's been a little bit different. The weather keeps changing the wind direction, which changes the sea condition and changes everything. So some days I was using a kite while we bottom fish, free line and live baits. We do a lot of chumming. Usually drop a goggle eye down. I let one run, and then I throw a kite on the other side just to triple my chances of different fish and different presentations. But we've been catching kingfish, sailfish, some yellowtails, some undersized groupers. But mutton snappers. There's been some good-sized muttons, and of course, as soon as you get up by Juneau and Jupiter, the friendly sharks, they make it quite challenging to get anything in the boat that you hook onto. So we've seen some really big kings, really big ones that have knocked the baits in the air. I actually saw a great white shark a week ago jump out of the water.
Wow.
Over a goggle on it. It kicked it up in the air 10 feet, and it splashed us all on the boat. It was pretty
wow.
terrifying. I think I got away from the edge of the boat, kind of sat on the cooler for a second. I was like, I think we need a bigger boat.
Holy smokes. And that was up.
What kind of depth were you in, and how far from shore? That's what the swimmers want to know.
Oh my goodness.
It was in 100 foot of water. I think it was off of MacArthur.
Yeah, north of Stinger Island.
Just around Stinger Island, yeah. I mean, I've never seen those big ones up close to the beach, but that 100-foot area is where a lot of the traffic, where people fish, and there's a lot of chum and a lot of activity, and there's a ledge, so that's a big 100 to 120-foot area is a big shark zone. Definitely up in Jupiter, because I know they've been feeding sharks for a long time, doing those dives, scuba dives.
Mm-hmm.
So now the sharks just, take it upon themselves to come to every boat.
Get a free meal.
Take whatever they want.
Yeah, we have lazy sharks in Florida.
Like Debo. I like your chain, Craig. They just come and take it, All sharks do what they want.
This is why they come to America. They get a free meal.
That is the Goliath groupers down in the Keys. So.
I'm sure
Yeah, I couldn't imagine seeing that.
I sure wish they'd let us keep one or two of them.
Too. I mean, if you've ever been diving or dropped a whole bonita down and just have your rod bend over, and you need some really, really heavy tackle to get those bad boys up. But
so
you do it on a heavy spinning rod.
Captain Tim, what area do you work at?
We work out of down by Stinger Island, Lake Worth Inlet. We go out and we fish from Lake Worth Pier down south all the way up to Lake Jupiter, depending on which day the fish are biting, which direction, because it's always a chance which way go, north or south.
Mm-hmm.
So one day the fish are that way, one day they're here. Some day they're everywhere. A lot of times.
But you guys do snorkel trips and some other stuff too, don't you, Tim?
Yeah, we do combinations, 4-hour trip. You can do a couple hours fishing and then finish with snorkeling. It's price dependent on those trips. We do snorkel trips.
Yeah, that's our top seller.
Really?
The combo.
Yeah, because we cater to a lot of families with the style boats that we have. We have a 330 Grady White Express, so it has a lot of seating and shade cover and full cabin downstairs with a bathroom. So a lot of families, they just want to be comfortable. They don't want a wet ride going out fishing, and so we definitely cater to the families.
Yeah, we're boat snobs now. I won't go out on anyone else's boat because I like my bathroom. I like being able to pound through 6 to 8 footers and keep my hair dry, even though I'm bald. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
So in other words, you're spoiled. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, the Grady White Express has been a wonderful ride. I love it. I'm gonna do a bracket. Actually, Nick's Creative Marine. He's awesome, by the way. I'm gonna repower through him next time. He's so helpful.
Grady White was my dream boat.
Setup on my boat.
We were looking forward to getting a Grady White years back. I did a lot of research. Wonderfully made boat, really dry. Just a lot of positive things about him. Unfortunately, things didn't work out. We never did get it. But I was, oh my gosh, it was like my dream boat. I couldn't believe it. So congratulations, my friend. And God bless you for having a Grady White, because that's one of my favorites.
Have to just come out with us and you can ride on ours.
So if somebody is to call you, what kind of time in advance do they need? They need a day, a week, a month, or what?
Well, it depends. When it's slow out, I'm like a glorified Uber. I might be waiting around, and I'm like, all right, give me 2 hours. I can meet you at the dock. But right now, we were booked out like a week, 2 weeks. You know, April is starting to fill in. So we've been totally filled for the spring break. And luckily, you know, the New World Order hasn't shut us down like they did last year.
Mm-hmm.
And we can work, because last year the docks were shut down.
Yes, it was.
Police were all over Peanut Island. You couldn't do anything. You know what I mean?
Was pretty pathetic.
It was horrible.
Pretty
really,
pathetic.
really upsetting. So, Peanut Island's very, very full yesterday. People everywhere were having a good time. It's great to see people out playing without their masks on.
Yeah, thank you, God.
You kind of see some people trying to put a mask over their snorkel, but I'm like, all right, it's not going to work.
Those are the ones that are driving down the road, windows up, air conditioner on, and a mask
by themselves.
on. Yeah, by
Two
themselves.
masks
It's just,
on. Yeah,
just
they don't
amazing.
Okay.
So do you do, you mentioned, but I'm not real clear, you do half days and full days?
Yes, sir. Half days, 3/4 days, full days. It's all on the website, myislandsadventure.com, and then there's a link there to like the YouTube page, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, we do 4, 6, and 8.
We actually do have a 2.5 hour express trip.
Oh, yeah, that's new.
One of our clients was like, hey, could I do an express trip? And I just was like, sure. And I added it on the website, and now it's actually, pretty popular, because people don't want to be out there for 4 hours puking sometimes. So.
Or their kids are going.
Or they got an airplane to catch, and they only got a couple hours, so I actually been doing a couple of those here and there.
That's a really great
That's
idea,
cool.
because, did you guys go out yesterday and fish the Meat Mayhem and had to come in? Robert wasn't sure.
I was out. I did a double yesterday. It was really like the waves were just standing up at it everywhere, like 6 foot jumping up and down. There was no direction to it. And it was just like being in a washing machine. I thought today was going to be horrible, so I took off. And then I looked at the beach this morning at like 7 a.m. and I was like, oh, my God, it's beautiful. I should be out there.
Carolyn sent me a picture this morning of her. She turns on the webcams, the beach cams, and it looks like a postcard. It looks like a puddle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Well,
just
sometimes
unbelievable.
those webcams can be a little deceiving depending on the wind direction, but yeah, it looks great out there right now. If the wind's blowing, every different direction it blows, I can just be at home looking at the trees, and I know pretty much what it looks like. And I came out this morning at 5 a.m. and I could hear.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
the roar.
Those are waves.
Yeah.
So I went to the beach to look at them, and they're like, 8 to 9 footers are beautiful, but it's flat behind them. So
Isn't that crazy? Wow.
You can get through the surf, you'd be golden,
Wow. That is isn't that goofy? Is that it's not all chopped up behind it as well? That it's just
the
as
north wind yesterday, it started at the west, and then it spun around from the east, and then it came at the north real hard, and it knocked everything down. So it just flattened it out. If it would have blown for another 6 hours, it would have picked up. But, it just laid down. Now the wind's dead, and it's a gorgeous day, and I'm kicking myself for not, keeping my trips. But when the wind's blowing from the north.
In my backyard, the palm trees aren't even moving. So.
Yeah, ours either.
Yeah, they were ripping yesterday afternoon, though.
Coconuts flying off.
This morning, they're not moving. So.
Wow.
If you ever want a good time, just go grab a seat in the cooler and sit at the park and watch people try to dock their boats in the wind. And the husband's yelling at the wives. I just sit there for a while and just try to help some people, but it's like you know,
kind of want to watch.
You kind of want to watch, but sometimes you're like, hold on, I got to help this guy. It's not going to work out good, you know?
Oh, you know what? And that makes me think of a great Family Guy episode. And I've got to find that link and upload it to our Facebook page about how many times he tried backing it down a dock. And it kept jackknifing and flipped over. And there was a line like longer than Fields of Dreams, like trying to, get it behind him. And it was the crazy little dog, Stewie, and, the kid. So I got to find that because I know exactly what you're talking about. You can be entertained and hear all the yelling. It's great.
We were entertained. There the other day, and I told my wife, I was like, hey, look at this. This is going to be a problem. She's like, what? They got it. And all of a sudden, like 2 minutes later, the guy had his girlfriend like hold on to the boat, but he didn't give her any ropes.
And they had ropes, so I don't know why he didn't tie it off.
When he left, it was pointed the right way, and when he came back, it was on the other side of the dock, pointed the opposite way, because it spun her around and she couldn't hold on. And then I walked over to help because he was screaming at her.
Oh my gosh!
She was so flustered. Half of her top came off.
I never got to see that part.
She's like getting yelled at by him, and Tim's going over to try to help, and I'm like, all I want to say is, oh my God, pull your top up. And then she realized it. And I was like, poor girl.
I never got to see it.
There are some horrendous memories I remember from the boat docks days. Oh my gosh. You wonder why you even went that morning when you see some of these people there. I love the ones who go to the boat dock and decide, well, I need to work on my motor now while I'm at the ramp. They take up the dock.
I got it down to a science. I used to ramp, load, and launch all the time. There's an art to it. But you don't know it if no one ever touched it. You got 3 people with ropes, and you're dragging it like you're a bunch of Egyptians pulling logs. You know what I mean?
Building the pyramid.
It takes one person to do the whole process. And it's sad, but
Well, it's experience. It's experience, and a lot of them sadly don't have. I grew up in Miami, so you can imagine what I saw at the boat ramps.
It was on Sunday.
Oh my gosh!
I can tell you from my own experience. I was the line holder one time. We were a 33-foot hydro sport, and instead of just backing it down the ramp and letting it float off, the person I was with decided to projectile eject it off the trailer. And there's no way, if you even have 4 lines in your hand,
Carolyn?
I was about ready to let that thing go. I lassoed it like a cowgirl, and that thing spun sideways at the ramp.
Oh my gosh!
And it had nothing to do with me. I was calm, collected. It was you just can't push a boat off a trailer at 30 miles an hour back.
Holy smokes!
You hit the brake. You hit the brake and just launched it in the water.
Yeah.
Totally. And I thought I was gonna die. I mean, I was ripping the trim off the pilings. I mean, stuff was going projectiles with nails coming out.
Oh Lord!
And at the moment, if it would have gone a little longer, I was just gonna let his boat go because. And this was Pioneer Park in Deerfield. Wasn't my problem.
Yeah, your boat's over there. Yeah.
Good luck.
I could just see that come back, and there's Carolyn standing there with the look that could kill. Where's the boat, Carolyn? Go swim.
I've never seen anything funnier than at Jupiter Boat Ramp about 25 years ago. This guy pulls up with he got off his boat and he's cussing and walking, cussing. He's pissed, right? And he gets in his minivan and pulls the trailer down, and then he rams the boat up on it, jumps off, and takes off. And he didn't have the boat all the way on the trailer, and he left the engines running, and it was a front-wheel drive minivan. So when he pulled up, it lifted the back tires off the ground. So the back tires were like 2-foot jackknife off the ground, but it didn't matter because the front-wheel drive was just ripping. And it was going, and then the props were hitting the concrete up
Lord.
Ramp on, ching, 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 ching. And he goes out the road and makes a right, and he keeps going down the road highway. That was it. He just,
oh my gosh!
Left mark all the way down the road.
That guy. That was definitely
parents were there. We would have won America's Funniest Home Video if we had a video camera. I mean, we just sat there and watched. We're like, well, that's one way to do it,
There are some comical scenes if you go down to the boat ramp. If you think you're having a bad day, go down the boat ramp and watch some of the people at the boat ramp. I promise you.
this homeless guy that lives at Phil Foster Park, and he sits there with his beard and he just watches people all day, every day. He looks at me sometimes and gives me a nod like, good job, good parking job, you know? 'Cause
I was at what is that called? John Pennekamp down in the Keys. I don't know if you've ever seen the ramp down there, but it's a treacherous angle. And this guy was putting in a sailboat, and he had what appeared to be a brand new BMW, a little BMW, and it was a manual transmission. And he made the bad mistake of not putting the parking brake on and leaving the engine running. Put it in neutral, put the parking brake on, leave the engine running in case you have a problem. He didn't do any of that. I think he put the parking brake on, and that was about it. Well, as the car began to slide backwards and into the water, he stopped what he was doing, ran to the car, got in the car, did the best he could to get the car going in the right direction, but he had to start the engine. He had to get it in gear. By that time, half the back of the car was already in the water. Before it was all over, the car went down into the water. I felt bad for it was funny to watch, but I felt bad for the guy because it looked like a new car,
things
too.
we live for, to watch these things.
I used the trailer with a manual, and it's not fun.
No,
gotta leave the motor running.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you gotta leave the motor running. Got to have a good parking brake, because if it starts to slide backwards, you don't have time to sit there and wait for the engine to start. You got to get in and go.
The ride the clutch a little bit, and then pop the brake, and you're already under a little bit of tension, so you don't peel out. You know what I mean, and start spinning your tires and go backwards.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you, you guys are pretty funny. So, how would share with us though? How would someone get in touch with you to book a charter, or how do they? What do they need to bring with them? Share some of that with us.
All right. Well, you can give my phone number 561-262-7150, or check out myislandsadventure.com. All the info's on there. That's my cell phone. I'm the owner. I'm the captain. So you're calling me. You're booking with me. No booking agencies. I don't double book people. Let's see. They can bring whatever they want: food, snacks, drinks. We have a big cooler. We provide ice and waters. We have towels.
All the snorkel gear, we have all of that.
Just got to bring bathing suits. One group of people didn't have bathing suits one day, and they said,
they were from I don't know. They were from the Middle East, so they just thought we provided that. I'm not sure why.
Just like to make that sure. I said, well, there's no one around, and
Yeah, we were like, well, just go swim in your clothes.
You mean they didn't go skinny dipping? They didn't jump in overboard?
I said there's no one around, so
Well, you know how the women over there cover themselves up and you can only see their eyes.
Right.
So I figured you might as well just go swim in that if you don't want to take it off. I don't know.
Wow.
I would have just.
They drowned in all of that stuff.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that'd weigh you down.
That's a lot of weight when you get it wet. So.
You're kidding. Wow.
I was kind of curious to see how
Dangerous.
it worked out. Here's some noodles.
Well, Captain Tim and Ashley, it has truly been a pleasure having you on, and what a great laugh we had with you guys this morning. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting us. This was awesome. We appreciate that.
We'll be having you back on sometime in the future.
Out there.
Yeah, and giving us an update. And Robert, thank you for the invite for them. I appreciate it, Robert. God bless you, my friend. Wish you an awesome day. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you, and we'll go on to the next guest. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, this is the one we've laughed the most on. So
oh, my gosh.
So fun. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Well, thank you, guys. We look forward to talking again.
Thank you, Robert.
Y'all have a great day. Y'all have a great day out there.
God bless.
All right. Nice
See ya.
Bye.
All right. All right, we're going to forego the commercial on this go-around. We're going to go right to our next guest, and that is Betty with Ladies Let's Go Fishing. You guys know how much I love to promote the ladies to go fishing, because in my life's experience, it was my mom who loved fishing so much that we literally went fishing all the time. And this is somebody who helps to do that. So welcome, Betty, and thank you for calling in this morning.
Yes, good morning. We were talking about trailer backing. When sometimes we're really lucky, we have Tony from Magic Tilt Trailers that comes and shows the ladies trailer backing.
Wow!
Because there's a lot to it, and it's more than just how to back. It's how to properly hook up your trailer. Where to put the chains. There's a safety on there. I've seen people at the ramp, throw the engine in reverse, and they're like, I'm not going anywhere, and the safety chain is still on.
Still on. I pulled a boat and the trailer and the car all in at the same time.
Yeah, it could. I'm getting ready to take our shearwater out as soon as the weather breaks, and I have a 350 Verado, and some of these boats with twins. Mine's a Merc Verado, but they might have the power to pull the boat into the car into the water.
Yeah, you bet. So, am I right? Did you get a boat recently? You got a new vessel recently?
Yeah, our new Ladies Let's Go Fishing program boat is a Shearwater 250 XTE bay boat. It's a beautiful color. It's mint green. It has T-top with misters on it to keep us cool while we're trolling or while we're loading up. And, 2 power poles. I like 2 power poles because you can use both shallow water anchors and the boat doesn't swing around.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got taco outriggers, so we can go fishing offshore for mahi with the GS 390s, which that you grab a handle and you can rotate from underneath the T-top with your hand. You can rotate the outriggers out.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm learning. I'm still learning. Like, it's got an ICOM radio for VHF, and that's that's something the ladies need to know and learn. Like, what channel do you use? What do you say on it? I've seen people hold the mic and say, "Now what do I do?" And you say, "Well, push the button and start talking." Well, what do I say? And also, there's a courtesy.
Right.
You don't really want to be chit-chatting on the VHF. It's it's for information. It's for sharing information. But it's not for talking about what you're going to make for dinner when you get home.
Darn, I knew there was a catch.
Yeah. So, all those parts of the boat are, part of the education. I talk to ladies, what's a jack plate? We have a Bob's jack plate. Well, that's what moves the whole engine up. So if you're fishing and the tide goes out and you need to get out of there, you can do that without, disturbing the grass beds or, turning up the bottom or, ruining your propeller.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. So,
and
then we've got the Lowrance electronics. That's something that ladies need to learn too, because if you're with 2 people and that one person passes out for some reason, and I've been in a boat where it's happened, you need to get back to the dock, and it's very easy if you just know how to follow I call them the breadcrumbs, back to where you left from.
It's
and
not...
I could tell you a true story myself. We have a 33 Hydro Sport, and at one time we had somebody break free on an anchor, just anchoring out and just touch the side of our boat. We were planning a trip to the Bahamas. We were running at 40 miles an hour. The boat kept going slower and slower. We looked. We were taking on water. We're like, holy cow, where's this coming from? Didn't know that the hull had been compromised. And because we were navigating to West End, and we had those locations on our GPS, and we had the location where we are, the person that called the Coast Guard gave the incorrect position of where we were going, meaning the Bahamas, not where we were sitting 10 miles offshore. So we had a potential, thankfully, when we stopped and, didn't just floated, we were able to pump the water out. We realized where it was coming from. But that could have been a very dangerous situation. So you have to learn the electronics.
Right, and our ICOM, for instance, has it automatically knows your GPS reading. So if you have somebody else, say you're incapacitated or whatever, somebody else needs to know, how you get that on the microphone, and you can just push an emergency button and it broadcasts your GPS signal out. Because sometimes there's not even enough time to hardly call a mayday.
Wow. Well,
Very, very important part, especially when these boats, you see them even just flipping over on a bad wave in an inlet, 10 feet from shore. So that's really important stuff. Safety equipment is very important. So absolutely. And I'm excited. I just looked up your boat. She's a beauty.
Yeah, I've got her on Facebook, and I just can't wait to try her out. It's been a bit, I've got to learn about the pumps and what pump works what, because some of the coolers can be a nice chest or a live well. And I have ruined everybody's lunch and their drinks by turning on the wrong one.
I know that probably wasn't funny, but it sounds funny.
Well, yeah. Well, when you run out of ice and your sandwiches are floating, it's not a popular thing to have happen.
You didn't win the popularity contest
Betty,
there.
I had the same thing happen too. We went out in our boat, filled it with about 3 dozen goggle eyes that are about $80 a dozen these days. And I had my feet up on the console, and by accident I turned the bait well off. So by the time we got out to fish, they were all dead.
Oh, they're no good. Yeah, we go through. We have our offshore seminar I'm working on right now, and that's going to be in Fort Lauderdale, April 23rd to the 25th. And we sometimes discuss goggle eyes because we tell the ladies, that's shellfish candy. It's your insurance. I mean, if you get out there and the fish are snapping, it's worth the money to buy, a dozen or two. When we do tournaments, we might have, 50 dozen, but and many live wells filled up with them. However, we have to, they were like, well, if we don't use them, can we eat them? Or they get upset if the boat doesn't use them. And we explain there's times where it's appropriate and there's times where other types of fishing are appropriate. You don't know until you get out there if you're going to use them or not. And you can't take them home.
Right, 100%.
Put them in an aquarium. Right? You have your own personal little aquarium where you keep them alive.
We never tried that. We did have a saltwater aquarium, but or I know what you're talking about. There's the bait wells that you put behind your boat and you leave them in the water. Yeah,
That's
they can
Carolyn.
stay alive in there for a while.
Carolyn, something. What do you have, Carolyn? You have something like that, don't you?
Yeah. Well, we do, but I'll tell you, the guys from Real Captivating, they'll actually keep their bait in a bait pen for up to 8 months and feed them every other day. And the pens are so big that you could actually, they could see them growing. Because I asked them, every tournament you have to go fishing for bait, and they're like, no, we just keep it there, tie it to the back of the boat up in that inlet, Palm Beach Inlet. They feed them, and they keep growing and growing, and they take them when they need them. I'm like, that's your own little aquarium right there.
Wow.
Yeah, it sure beats. I've done it before getting up at like 3 a.m. to go fish for them. And then by the time you go fishing, you're pretty tired.
You're shot.
You're ready to take a nap.
Are you kidding me? We're going to go fishing now. I want to go back to sleep. Oh, goodness. So what is the latest update for Ladies Let's Go Fishing?
Oh, we had our good freshwater fish seminar, and we had a peacock bass released and about 15 fish in a couple hours. That worked out really well. South Florida is coming up, and that's open for registration. And what's cool is they're going to learn and practice fishing on Saturday, and then Sunday we have offshore fishing. So in Fort Lauderdale on the sport fishing boats, you can go out and maybe do kite fishing or bottom fishing and trolling and be back in time for lunch and catch fish because the Gulf Stream is right here.
Yeah.
And then next is our Gulf Coast Seminar inshore, May 15th to the 16th. Same thing, full day seminar, and then fishing the last day for inshore in Fort Myers. And then I'm working on prices right now. Registration's up for my June 11th through 13th in the Keys, Islamorada, Learning on the Water and Screaming Reels tournament with easy rules, not complicated rules.
Yeah.
So like most everybody wins something.
Awesome.
And then we have, then in October we have it in the same place in the Keys, 15th to the 17th. But that has the full day fishing in between. So they can fish 1 day or two for really both Keys events. And they can choose offshore or inshore. So we have a lot of boats going out. They can fish inshore 1 day and offshore the next. And then we have the party boat, too, that's more budget-minded, but still fun. That's bottom fishing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you said something earlier that I never even considered, and it just shows the depths that you go through to see to it that people get a well-rounded education, and that was about the backing up of the boats. I never thought about that you take the time to teach the ladies the importance of being able to back up that trailer so that it goes in the right direction and that the car and the trailer don't end up in the water with the boat. I think that's awesome.
Right. And even for the bait well, too. I mean, we teach them that don't wash your hands in the bait well. It's not a sink.
Yeah.
Because if you have suntan lotion on your hands,
that'll kill them quick.
You can kill all the bait really fast. But, if you don't tell people that, they don't know that's not the thing to do.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it sounds like you have it well under control, my dear, and I am ever so glad that you took the time to call in and share with us. I greatly appreciate it. And if people want to reach you, I think the website is ladiesletsgofishing.com. Is that correct?
Yes, and they should check because we have virtual meetings and we have really nice, fun online raffle.
Oh, cool.
And I'm working on a trip to Bimini on a boat.
Wow.
A big boat that, sleeps like 25.
Oh, my goodness.
So once things relax a little bit, it's not that expensive. You just get on the boat. We're going to go to Bimini, spend the full day there, Bimini, Bahamas. Renting golf carts and messing around. And then the second day, we're going to the fishing grounds, maybe Isaac's or Gingerbread. Sometimes they have, huge tuna there. And we'll fish. And then we'll sleep on the boat next night. Next day, come back. And there's a chef on the boat. So if we catch fish, he can cook our catch.
That sounds awesome.
Ice cream machine.
Oh, my gosh. So this is is this a 3-day, 2-night or 2-day, 2-night?
Yeah, it's on my website, but right now we have to wait for them to get approval, finish their approval from the Bahamian government. The boat's called the American Patriot, and it's docked in Hollywood.
Yes.
Yep. We were talking about them. We were talking about them yesterday.
Yeah.
I called them to get them on the show. They had a charter today, and they're going to try and call in next week. And that boat has history. I believe it was up at 9/11. It came down from New York.
From New York.
Refitted down here. It's supposed to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they redid it. The owner's name, I believe, is Ralph, and they do. They're doing fishing trips here and trips to the Keys already.
Yep.
They're going. They're taking day trips, full day trips, and Keys trips. And Bimini is next on their horizon. So hopefully early summer, we'll all be heading to Bimini. I did it before, and it was so much fun.
Excellent. Sounds like a good time. Sounds like a really good time. All right, my dear. Well, we're out of time on this slot. Thank you so very much. Wish you an awesome day. If you want more information, ladiesletsgofishing.com. You can find her there. You can find the info there. I think the Bimini thing sounds awesome, by the way. Anyway, if you want more information, that's the place to go. Carolyn, I'll give you an opportunity to say goodbye, and we'll take a quick break and come back.
Absolutely, Betty. Great talking to you. Can't wait to see that shearwater in the water.
Yes, I will be fishing soon. Thanks, and tight lines, everybody.
All right, here we go.
Tight lines.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show. We'll be right back.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Listen and imagine. It takes 5 seconds to send a text, and for those 5 seconds, you're driving blind. Life is worth more than a text. Stay alive. Don't text and drive.
While other stations just talk a big game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show every Sunday morning from 8 to 10 on the WCET Radio Network. And now, from the Sunshine State, transmitting from Palm Beach County off the southeastern coast of Florida, your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back, and we are on the new Trim Radio Network. I keep forgetting it. I've got to change. I've got to get the girls to change that for me. We are on the new Trim Radio Network. There are several ways you can find us. Go to Marina Rock. If you have the TuneIn app, go to Marina Rock Radio. They're one of our affiliates. You can find us there. Go on the web, www.WTRMradio.com. You can find us there. Go on the Facebook page and click on Contact Us, Fishing in Florida. On the Facebook page, click on Contact Us. You can find us there. We will have the app. I'm going to kick somebody in the behind if I don't have it next weekend. But we will have the app, and it's the easiest way to listen to us. There's no adware, no spyware. There are no push notifications on the app. It's just an easy way to tune in to our network. In the meantime, let me welcome back my co-host, and that is Carolyn. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to Carolyn over at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Well, thank you very much, Riscala.
And I think we have our next guest lined up, and that is Jim Ott. He's one of our, he's called in a couple of times before. He's going to give us an update of what's going on in the local area. Good morning, my friend, and thank you for calling in.
Yeah, good morning to you. How's everything for you guys?
Good, Jim. Welcome to the show. I know you had a busy weekend last weekend at the Palm Beach Shamrock Shootout.
Yes, we did. That was one hell of a weekend and a long one, that's for sure.
How did that turn out for you?
Yeah, it went good. I mean, we fished all day. It was a long tournament, but we finally got the last couple bites in the last hour of the tournament that made us win fifth place boat, and we caught the biggest kingfish at 43 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, and I just sent that picture to Riscala earlier, Riscala. It's on your text, but you could see Jim on the left there and how big that fish was.
Yeah, it took us all day. I mean, let's just say by Saturday morning, I was up at 3:30 in the morning loading rods and loading baits into the well. Then we had to run all the way up to Palm Beach to take one of my buddy Carl Torsten up that I charter fished with up out of Palm Beach. That's where the tournament was out of. Then so we picked him up and grabbed some extra baits, and then we ran up north of the Loran Tower, which is north of Jupiter. I'm sorry. Did a couple drifts there, caught a bunch of bonitas and small kings that didn't really count, and so it kept pushing north, and by the end of the day, we were almost off Stewart in the afternoon where we caught those kings, and then we had to run all the way back to Palm Beach. So that day I put over 100 miles on the boat on one day of fishing.
Wow.
Crazy.
That is a lot.
And how big was the boat that you ran?
My mom's boat, we have a 32-foot yellowfin.
Oh, beautiful.
I'm looking at the size of this kingfish. They're pretty serious fish. How big was that thing?
Yeah, it was 43 pounds. It was crazy. My buddy Carl, I charter fished with, caught it, and the funny part is we waited all day long, and we had like a 3 kite spread out, and then we had 4 or 5 flat ones out the other side, and we got bit literally at the same time, like 12 seconds apart from each other. So I caught a 12.4, and he ended up catching the 43. So that's what put us in 5th place, and we caught the largest fish of the tournament. So that was pretty nice.
Yeah, and I was actually hoping to fish that tournament on a 34 CV, but the person I was supposed to go with, a bunch of his guys bailed and said we're a little tired, so that got canceled. But it's I know, was it pretty rough last week?
No, it wasn't that rough. It had a little chop to it, but I mean we had a flying helium balloon, so the wind wasn't really blowing that hard. So, But yeah, it took us a while to get bit, but it was worth it. It was worth the wait, I can say that.
No doubt, and that makes for a long day when you have an hour run back down to Pompano Beach.
I had to get home, and the time I got done with the weigh-in and the awards party and everything, I think me and my mom got home at like 12:30 at night.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, Mom went. Carol is a big local angler in Lighthouse Point too. She always fishes and volunteers for the ladies fishing tournament that's 35th year this year. So she's always out there. Well, good for Mom.
Yeah, we're fishing that one too, and then we had my other friend, Michaela Whitner, who runs the Trash Can Slam, which is a charity for autism or whatever. So that one's the next one we're going to be fishing. So she was fishing with us, and my mom and one of her friends and one of my friends that I know, and my buddy Carl. So it was like we had a six person crew. It was pretty pretty heavy.
Wow. So you caught my ear with the autism. There's a tournament to help autism.
Yes, sir.
And can you tell me the name of that?
It's called a Trash Can Slam.
Trash can?
Yeah, Trash Can Slam. Yes.
Okay, I have to look.
That's local in Pompano Beach, right?
Yes. It's a local tournament in Pompano. It's called the Trash Can Slam. Michaela Whitner, she's an artist, and she's been doing this since she's been in high school. This is her 7th year for the tournament. And it's really a fun tournament because everything counts. Like kudos count, bonitas count. Like she has a category for like almost everything. So, like, God forbid if you don't win the aggregate, you have like a shot at winning like the most bonitas, or the trash can fish is like the biggest bonita or the biggest kudos. So, where it's cool, like, because most of the tournaments bonitas and kudos don't count, but in this one it does. So it's like really cool for most people.
That's amazing.
And I just looked up the date. So the date, Riscala, we can make sure we announce that is going to be May 8th of 2021. So that's not too far away. And I'll see if I can get the girls in there too.
Oh,
yeah,
see if we can.
Look her up on Facebook at Trash Can Slam is her Facebook, and you can see all about the Trash Can Slam and how far it's come. And it's really a good tournament for autism and stuff like that, because all extra charities go to the people that have autism. So it's really she's been doing it for 7 years. It's really an awesome tournament.
Wow.
So.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I am somebody who has one of my grandkids is in the autistic spectrum.
I understand that for sure. But definitely check that out. She's really awesome.
Great. So, anything you got planned coming up here? Are you going to be doing any of these tournaments that are coming up?
Yeah, I'm fishing that trash can one.
That's
and then the ladies fish off is June 5th. That's also a local tournament, 35th year there. And in between that, he's sword fishing for business.
Yeah.
Oh, so now I'm 2 and 2 are coming together for me now.
He's the hand-lined swordfish whisperer.
Yeah. He was the guy that just blew my mind catching these things by hand. Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And the bite's getting pretty good, honestly, because now it's getting towards spring. It's like really one of my favorite times of the year to fish out here, because everything starts to show up. Sailfish bite's been really good. There's been the kingfish are starting to show up, which is cool. Like the tunas are coming. You see a couple glimpses of it. Like somebody will catch like a 18-pounder and a few of them. So springtime is coming right around the corner. And honestly, if I had to fish all year round, this is probably my favorite time of the year. Between April and June is probably my favorite time of year to fish out here. So it gets really interesting out here with the bites.
So it's almost like a buffet line, right? When you go fishing, you get your choice.
And it's great. I have to tell you what's so cool. So Jim's local in Pompano Beach, Deerfield, where I am, and there's a local store that we kind of hang out, Custom Rod and Reel. And I'll tell you what, anytime you can go in there, they have sofas inside, the TV's there, people are bringing their takeout lunch and having their lunch breaks right there in the store. It's a pretty cool thing, and it's funny. Jim and I, last time I saw him, he and I hung out for hours at the store, and people would come in and want to buy things. They thought we worked there.
That's
and,
pretty neat.
So after that tournament, then I had a charter fish with my buddy Sunday morning, and it's like, all right, so I just had a long day for tournament fishing. Then I had a charter fish Sunday morning, and it was daylight savings, so it was spring forward. So it really messed my clock up.
I know. I wish they would leave that alone.
I have no idea, but I made it to the boat. We fished, and then Monday I had to talk about customer reel. They like when I rig my swordfish baits for them, the daytime swordfish baits. So out of those bonitas, I got like 14 baits out of them that we caught during the tournament. So I did that on Monday, and I was completely exhausted after that.
I really wish they'd leave the daylight thing alone. The days get longer all by themselves. They get shorter all by themselves. I don't know why we have to mess everything up. It just totally throws me out.
Hey, you know what, Jim? You know what, Jim? Next time you do a weekday trip with your mom, I'll get you my number. Call me. I'll peel away from work and I'll come out and help you girls, guys and girls, and just go fun fishing for the day, because I know your mom is an expert and you're an expert. Just give me a holler. I'll drop everything.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, it was like one of those days where me and my buddy Carl, who I fishes a lot, and I learned a lot fishing with him, like instead of like all these people in the tournament were running around, there was 38 boats in the tournament, and only 7 boats weighed in out of 38 boats. So that goes to show you how slow the fishing was. We just grinded hard and kept the baits in the water. You're not going to catch them if you're running around. So we just kept fishing hard and keeping the baits fresh, and we just got lucky. We got the 2 bites and we caught them both. So
when you're out there doing the sword fishing, how far offshore are you?
like 20 miles.
Holy smokes! So you're like the northbound fishing lane.
lane.
Yeah. Wow. And typically when you're doing this, I'm interested in this because I went sword fishing one time. It was at night.
Right.
They used a mullet. I'm pretty sure it was a mullet. Yeah, I think it was a finger mullet or a mullet. And they put which I thought was really funny, this next part, they put a glow stick inside this thing. And when we drug it at night, we didn't catch anything. We just pulled bait all night long. And I've heard since then, because I've always, until just probably in the last year or so, I always thought sword fishing was typically a night thing. It didn't happen during the day, but now I'm finding out differently. People are out there during the day and are successful in fishing during the day. So are you doing days and nights? And
well, I do both, but I mostly fish the night. When you fish the buoy gear, it's mostly at night. So it's like you're fishing all night long from dark to sun up, pretty much. So it's a lot of work, and everything's a little bit different because when you're fishing at night, your bait's only like 200 feet down to 300 feet down. Where if you're fishing daytime, you're 1,800 feet down. So it's and you got an electric drill, so it's not like you're fighting them by hand, or it's a little bit different.
So at night they come up. They're not as deep at night, and they aren't. I guess during the day from the heat they go down further and it's cooler. I think.
Yeah, they're not. They don't really like the light that much. So in the daytime you're on the bottom, because in the daytime all the baits are on the bottom. And what happens when it gets towards nighttime, the squids and all the bait fish they eat swim up halfway up the water column, so the swords are already swimming up at night. Sometimes you'll see them right up on top on the surface, they're like tailing like a sailfish up on top some nights. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and really they're really night feeders because their eyes have like it's really crazy. Their eyes have like a light thing in their eyes where at night they can see. That's why they can see so good. Like a blinders or something, like where like they have like lasers or something in their eyeballs so they can see so good at night and dark.
Do their eyes glow like an alligator's light and frogs' eyes will glow at night if you hit them with a light? Is that what happens?
They don't quite glow, but they have that certain stuff in their eyeballs where it's like a heat signature, so they can see baits and stuff at night where it's like pitch dark. So that's why they bite at night most of the time. I'm not saying they don't bite during the day, but that's why they're mostly eating at night, because they're a nighttime feeder most of the night.
And what do you typically use for bait when you're doing this stuff?
Squid is pretty much our main bait. Tinker mackerel, a Boston mackerel, ladyfish, a Spanish mackerel. I caught a Spanish mackerel in there like a couple weeks ago. I was in there trying to catch goggle eyes, and we rigged that up there and then threw it on one of the gear, and we caught a 105-pound core on it the one night. We caught a marker on it.
Wow.
So they'll eat when they're hungry. They'll pretty much eat anything. But we mostly fish squids and Boston mackerels, or like a Spanish mackerel or something like that.
You prefer nighttime fishing, Jim, for swords, or you prefer daytime?
I prefer nighttime.
Yeah, I would imagine at
1,800
feet,
fish.
I don't know about the biggest fish. It just gives you more bites, I think, than most of the time in the daytime. And you're not getting sunburned, which is nice because she already knows how red my face is already.
You go in and you see Jim in the store. I got to tell you, Riscali, and our listeners, you go in and see Jim in the store.
Wait, let me guess. Let me
red,
let me guess
white.
that. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I got the certified raccoon eyes. That's why I like the nighttime fishing. You don't have to worry about putting sunscreen on. You won't get burnt doing that.
See,
I just want to touch him. I want to touch him and go, "Oh, you poor thing."
if you're out there during the daytime and you're in 1,800 feet, how much line have you got out?
Most of the time, depends on what spot you fish. Like you fish between like 1,800 feet to like 1,400 feet. There's just numbers and ledges out there. You could have anywhere out like when we fish an LP, it's in revs. So I think it's like 3 foot per rev. Sometimes you could have like 2,050 revs
Holy
out.
smokes! Wow.
So it's crazy when you hook them. That's why the daytime fishing is cool, because you can see them in the day and it's really cool. But honestly, you got so much line out. Sometimes it's actually a handicap because you got so far to catch them. Like where at night you're only like 300 feet down.
Yeah.
So
I could see a big advantage.
Way better at night than it is on the daytime. But you know, I've caught them both ways. The daytime thing is cool because, like I said, you're not fighting them in the middle of the night. You don't try to beat you up or nothing as bad because you can see what they're doing. But the nighttime fishing is cool because you never know what's going to hit. They're going to jump or do something crazy.
Mm. So if you've got that much line out and you're doing this by hand, how long does it take you to bring it back in?
No, you're not. Well, on the daytime fishing, you're not doing it by hand. You're fishing an electric reel.
Oh, okay.
Even
with electric, gosh, even with electric, it's got to take, 4 or 5 minutes at least?
To bring a bait up from where we're fishing takes you like 15 minutes.
Wow.
That's on an LP. The Lingering Pitman is an LP. It's really like one of the best reels of fish on the market. But yeah, like that nighttime, the fish could take anywhere from 5 minutes to I fight them for 3 hours before at night on the hand line.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, so like when it gets to be one of those battles where they start fighting, me and my buddies take turns so we don't wear ourselves out. So one person will fight for 40 minutes, and if we can't make any headway, then my other buddy gets a pair of gloves on and he fights it, and we just take turns so we don't wear ourselves out, So
it doesn't feel like.
Hey Jim, I have a swordfish question. Is there a swordfish tournament where you have to fight that fish the whole time, or are you allowed to hand off? And are there any swordfish tournaments like IGFA where you have to only be the only fighter?
I think I know there's a couple ones that on the Miami. There's one tournament in Miami. I think it's like the Miami Sunburn, or I forget what the name of it is, but it's IGFA where one angler can only fight the fish and it's nighttime, and so you have to fish a rod and reel.
Oh my goodness.
It might be the Alvarado one. It might be the Florida Keys one, but they fish in Miami too, I think. But
I keep thinking about Hunter Irving, who caught that 700-something plus pounder, and they Riscala originally hooked up on an electric reel that broke, and then they had to hand fight that thing, I think.
This was in the Keys?
Luckily, they had one of our Atlas Trax trackers, and the dad could know where he was, the whole time while they were stuck out there for another 6 or 7 hours.
Wow. Was this in the Keys?
Right here off of Pompano Beach.
Yeah, okay. I think I remember that. I think I remember that story. It was unbelievably huge. Unbelievably huge. Yeah. Wow.
That's a fish of a lifetime. Once you catch a fish over 500, that's like a fish of a lifetime.
I was going to ask you, when you're pulling on this thing, does it feel almost like you're pulling in a car?
Yes.
Because that's what it felt like. That's what it felt like with me when we went mako fishing one time with a friend of mine, and they did this thing. This was many, many years ago. They called it hero or zero. So either you go out fishing for a specific thing. So either you're going to be a hero, you're going to catch it, or you're not. You're going to be a zero. And we hooked into a mako, and I fought it for about maybe 15 minutes. And I got to tell you, I really thought, first I thought we were on the bottom. And the captain convinced me, we are not on the bottom, my friend. We're like 1,000 feet of water. There's no way that we're on the bottom. And I said, but you can't even feel the fish, like when you're fighting I'd say a regular fish. When I fought other fish, I could feel them swimming around. This thing was so big, we never even got it to the boat. But this thing was so big, it literally felt like I was pulling on a car. And I said, you guys, this is crazy. I can't even feel anything. So I was curious if it was a similar feeling to what you were doing when you're pulling up the swordfish.
Yeah. The only difference with the swordfish is that they feel like they're pulling with a car. But when those bigger fish get on there, they kind of swim up. So it's like, it feels like you're pulling on the car, and then all of a sudden, it feels like you break the car off because the line's swimming up so fast you're pulling slack.
Oh, they're swimming at you. They're swimming at you, you mean?
You do all types of stuff.
Wow.
It's like you almost got to be on your A game fighting one of those things.
Wow.
So, which is nice because when they're straight pulling down hard on you, it sucks because you can't really pull on them. But when they do that swim up technique where they swim up, so now you're gaining all that line. But the only problem is you got to pull as fast as you can because while they're swimming up, at whatever 20 miles an hour, you can pull the hook on them while they're swimming up. So it's like it gets a little crazy.
That's unbelievable. That's some crazy stuff.
Oh,
you know what's great about Jim? Jim has always been brought up in fishing. He was the gentleman that was fishing at 6 months old. Remember, I sent you Raquel black and white pictures in Bimini with his dad, his mom. So he's been doing this forever. I think he was one of the youngest sailfish. You caught a sailfish at 4 years old. Wasn't it something like that, Jim? Something crazy, like 4 years old?
I caught a blue marlin when I was 6.5.
Lord have mercy. My
I caught
gosh.
a sailfish when I was 7.5. I think.
Wow.
So it's like I've been fishing for a long time.
My
but I
goodness.
enjoy every day of it. So even when it's slow.
You can tell in your voice how much you enjoy it.
Yeah, it was like when we fished that tournament, we went from a 0 to a hero all in about 5 minutes. I was like, man, this is crazy. We fished all day, and this was like lines were out at 3:30. I think I hooked my king at 2:55, and my buddy hooked his king at 3 o'clock. So it's like we had 30 minutes left in the tournament when we caught those 2 fish. So
that's
goes to show you can't quit until lines are out. That's the way I look at it.
That's the 11th
That's a
hour
great attitude
play.
to have.
Yeah, I think that's.
As much as, like I said, I'm not one of those guys who like to sit around and not catch nothing. But hey, it's part of fishing. Unfortunately, you got to be patient.
I think that's what they call the 11th hour play. I mean, just before cutoff.
Yeah.
You know, and there you
Yeah,
go.
well, trust me, when you had as many baits as we had out that day, I mean, when you got a 3 kite spread out, that's not. I mean, we were fishing 6 kite baits or not. We were fishing 9 kite baits out on that day. So we had a lot of kites out, and then we had a lot of flat ones out. So we were fishing like 12 rods a set. So.
Wow. All right. Well, we're just about out of time in this slot. Anything else you'd like to share with us, Jim, before we go off to a break?
No, sir. I just want to thank you for giving me a shot to talk on.
Oh, listen,
it's a pleasure doing it.
It's an honor to have you on.
What about?
Go ahead, Carl.
What about a shout out to anybody that your buddies that do charters and stuff like that people can call and say, hey, I want to fish with Jim Ott because he's a cool dude.
Yeah, my buddy. There you go. My buddy Carl Torsen, who actually caught that 43 pounder in the tournament. He has a charter. He really charter fishes out of Palm Beach. His charter boat name on Facebook is Slob City. Is the name of his boat. Or if you want to find him on Instagram, it's Slob City Inc. Then I got my other buddy, Henry, who I buoy fish with, and I do charter with his boat. It's called Bahama Mama is the name of his boat.
Cool.
What's his name?
What?
What's his name, Jim?
Henry Dombrowski. It's Bahama
I
Mama.
think yeah, absolutely. I think he might have one of my trackers, the Atlas Trax trackers on his boat. I'll have to reach out.
I think he does.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then then we got Carl Torsen, who's he's out of Palm Beach, and his boat's Slob City, or on Instagram is Slob City Inc. I fish with both of those guys a lot, so that's who I have to shout. And then don't forget to check out the Trash Can Slam for autism. So that'd be a good one for everybody to look at. She's young and she's a good artist. So if you guys got anything you need painted, she'd be the one to call. Michaela Whitner, her last name.
Give me the name again, Jim.
Michaela Whitner. And then
we could have her on.
Yeah, that's why I want the name. Yep.
Yeah, you can call, or you can look her up on Facebook as Trash Can Slam. Is her Facebook.
Cool.
You can get a hold of her there somewhere.
All right,
tell her
my
that
friend.
You told us to shout out. We'll get her on the show.
Yeah. I'd like to help in whatever way we can help promote that. First it's a lady angler, and it's for autism. So, yeah, I love that where everybody wins. This is a win-win thing when we're talking about stuff like this.
It is it's really an awesome tournament because God forbid, it's hard enough fishing against all these boats to fish because they're all the top guys fish all these tournaments. It's hard enough trying to make the fish the tournament. God forbid, here in Florida we have a lot of good anglers and fishermen, so that one makes it more fun where people have a chance of winning something regardless if they're if you have one of those bad days as well. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
See, it's good for a good cause. So
when I see something like that, I look at it as if I go and I join and I get involved in the tournament and I don't catch anything, I still won because I know that the investment that I made in the tournament goes to help somebody. So that's what I mean.
That's the way I look at it.
It's
The
a
first year
win-win.
I actually fished before I even knew McKellar that well. We won the tournament the first year I ever fished it, which is kind of crazy on my little boat. And ever since then, I haven't done as well. But hey, like I said, it's for a good cause, and like you said, whatever you catch, it doesn't matter what you catch. Even if you don't do good, you're still winning because you're helping the people out.
That's right.
And to me, this is as much important as the fishing is.
That's right. Amen.
No
All right,
doubt.
my friend.
We love having you on.
No problem. Thank you. I love talking with you guys. So just keep in touch with me, and I'll do the same.
All right. Thank you so much, Jim. Greatly appreciated. Carolyn, I'll give you an opportunity. We'll go to a quick break.
Yeah, I'll meet you for lunch on Tuesday at the store. Customer Unreal.
Okay. Sounds good. Have a good rest of your
You're
weekend, guys.
listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion: air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. 'Cause I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
I'm going to have to fire that girl. She keeps saying the wrong network. That's my fault. I thought I had straightened that out, but obviously I have the wrong the wrong one playing. Anyway, we are on the Trim Radio Network.
For a moment, I thought you were talking about me.
No. We are on the Trim Radio Network, WTRM, and you can find us at www.trmradio.com. We're no longer on the old network. This is the new network, the new improved network. And, of course, you can always find us at Marina Rock. Thank you, Marina Rock, by the way, one of our affiliates. If you have the TuneIn app, Marina Rock is on the TuneIn app. So if you just go to Marina Rock Radio, you can find us there Sunday mornings as well. And if all goes well, by next Sunday, we will have the app available. So welcome back, Miss Carolyn. And Carolyn is with Atlas Trax. I'd like to say about Carolyn, if you want to protect what you love to the max, there goes the phone again. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to Carolyn at Atlas Trax. And why do I say that? Because she offers, I don't know. What do you offer, Carolyn?
GPS trackers for all assets, mostly the marine business, but anything. Trailers. Paul, our next guest, has a tracker on an alarm system on his audio trailer and his vessels. Anything that you need to protect from somebody stealing and you want to find it right away, call me.
And it's, one of my favorite things that she has, I call it the pocket tracker, because it's so small that it can fit in your pocket. It's about the size of a credit card, in length and width. It's a little thicker than that. It's about the thickness of a AA battery. But it's so portable and it's waterproof that you can use it for boat, use it for jet ski, you can use it for a motorcycle, you can use it for your car. That's what I like about it. It's so versatile that it's not locked up to one thing. And like I mentioned earlier in the show, a story that I read had something that wasn't, if it wasn't Atlas Trax, it was something very similar to Atlas Trax. And they were notified that their vessel was moving. And within minutes, they knew that somebody had taken possession of something that didn't belong to the person taking it. And I think the whole thing, within a very short span of time, they caught the guys as they were literally unloading the boat at someone's house. So if you don't have something like Atlas Trax, I'm kind of prejudiced. I like Atlas Trax. I don't know that how many other people out there will give you the customer service that you'll get with Atlas Trax. When you buy something from a small company, it's like an investment. I'm a small company. I look at it when somebody utilizes our services, they become like an extended component of our family. And we give them the best that we can give them because we know that it's a long-term thing. They're not just another number. They're not just another person walking in the door or another person making a phone call. They're somebody who's actually investing in our company. And as a result of that, we feel kind of like it's almost like a family, if you will. And Carolyn is one of those. You can call her up. She's told me about people calling her up on Friday night. Carolyn, I'm in a jam. I need help. You're not calling AT&T or one of these other companies where you're on hold for 45 minutes before anybody gets to you, only to find out that, there's nobody that can do anything right now. You'll have to call back Monday during office hours. Our office hours for small companies, a lot of times, is 24/7. So these are the advantages of dealing with people that are a small company. Carolyn has a variety of products, not just a tracker. She's got alarms. I was being facetious. She's got alarms. She's got the latest and greatest in hotspot, I think is what we call it. Right, Carolyn, for the cell phones?
Yeah, absolutely. A hotspot. We sell an Iridium satellite hotspot, which allows you to connect up to 5 of your current phones or laptops right to this little device. If you're offshore playing hooky from work, or if you have an emergency, has an SOS button, can tell you some weather if you need it. You can text and browse. Really, really cool stuff. And it's used anywhere from marine to, we have folks that are in the mining business. Hunters take them out in the woods on the weekends so they could be close to cellular coverage. And, I came to meet you for lunch one day. Excuse me, I had no cellular service, and I was freaking out and panicking because I couldn't find you. And you had to stand out in the middle of the road and wave me into the parking lot. So,
just happened to be in that one part of town where the signal is relatively weak, and it covers a particular area here. I know it because I run through it all the time. And if you're in a position like that, here you are. We're in West Palm Beach, for Pete's sake. You would think to yourself, there's nowhere that I'm not going to have an issue like that. Wrong. But that's just one example. I mean, what happens if you're up in the mountains? I remember when we were up in the mountains, forget it, pal. You're not going to, if you don't have a satellite phone or if you don't have one of these hotspots, you can just turn your phone off. You can't text, you can't get internet, you can't get anything. With something like this, what this acts as is a bridge. It acts as a bridge between you and your cellular service. So when your cellular service quits and you're unable to get that cellular service to work, you turn this thing. This is what I love about it. You turn this thing on, and you're all of a sudden there's no difference in your cell phone. You're not changing anything in your cell phone. You're not changing any settings anywhere. You just get on your cell phone and go.
And that's a really great feature. And we have a lot of our trackers that are on snow groomers, and those guys go out in the middle of the night in Washington and Wyoming in blizzards. They have no cellular service whatsoever. They rely on our trackers at this time anyways. And we've even had one of the snow groomers drive into a lake. The gentleman was able to safely get out, but when they were monitoring the 6-mile-an-hour movement of the groomer and saw that it hadn't moved in a while, they knew to send help. And that groomer went totally underneath the ice and disappeared. And that guy was just standing outside waiting for someone to come get him. So that's it's a safety application. We're in the Marine, we fish, but there's so many applications for something like this.
And there's alarms that you carry. Excuse me. There's alarms that you have as well.
Boat alarms, trailer alarms. We do all now picked up full electronics. And we had a mention of a power pole brand, which is an anchor that you just kind of have a flat boat go into the ground. We sell all of that stuff too. So hopefully we can reach out to more boat builders and supply them with maybe some supplies.
Atlas Trax, and it's Trax, ATLAS TRAX. You can find them online, atlastrax.com. And I think we have Mr. Fleming on. I'm not sure. Paul, is that you?
Okay, yes, it is. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning, my friend. Welcome to the Fishing in
morning.
Florida show. Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was going to say good morning, Paul. It's been too long since I've seen you. We chat by text, and I can't wait to see you at the Palm Beach Boat Show.
Yeah, I can't wait for the show either. Actually, I apologize for calling in a little late. I lost track of time. We're out here sea trialing hull number 1 of our 21 bay boat.
Oh, wow. And
You're
are you at?
actively on the water right now. Tell us.
We are on the water with our 21 bay boat. Yes, first time in the water, and she definitely exceeding expectations.
Where are you at?
So the last time we had you on, you said you were running over something crazy like 10 inches of water and just flying over the surface.
That was our 18 flats boat, and we were running close to 6 inches of water.
Crazy.
And so now we've debuted our 21 bay boat at the Tampa show last week, and it was actually a huge success, but we didn't quite have enough time to get her 100% finished. So we just finished her up yesterday and got her on the water this morning. It's a bit nippy out here running across the lake, but she's definitely performing well.
So I had asked
For those of you that don't know Paul calls in occasionally, and he actually is one of the owners of Black Tip Boats. So it's very exciting that he's also a small business, like we always speak about. And he's out there, and they're putting out some great boats that are so custom, which is great. And also has, if you don't mind me saying, Paul, his wife was ill the last couple of years, and he's a good family man. He put his boat business on hold to take care of her, and now they are full blazing with Black Tip Boats, which is so exciting.
Hot dog. I was asking where you are. Are you out on the big lake, or are you just in one of the little lakes?
So we're located in St. Pete. So we're actually in Lake Seminole. It's a local lake for us. It's not a real big lake, but it's big enough for us to do what we need to do testing wise.
Yeah. And how many different models do you make?
So right now, the 21 bay boat was our second model that we've debuted. So right now we currently have the 18 flats boat and the 21 bay boat. We have a 30 offshore. The hull mold is mated for that one. We are finishing up the engineering for the deck and the Capt. That should be out, we're hoping, by the summertime.
And these are all, I'm guessing, but I think I'm right. These are all here made here in Florida.
They are. They're all made right here in St. Pete, Florida.
Excellent. And it's a family-owned company?
So the Black Tip Boatworks is owned by myself and a really good friend of mine, Craig Brunstein, who also owns Oceanic Gear.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been doing Oceanic Gear for a while and decided to get into boat building, and the two of us partnered up, and here we are.
It's an awesome thing to watch the boats being made. Years ago, I was working for a 3M distributor, and 3M makes a phenomenal product for the marine industry. It's called a 5200 marine sealant, and was used extensively by the boat manufacturers. So I got to like an eagle's eye view of some of the manufacturing processes, and it was pretty neat. Worked with a variety of manufacturers out of Miami. Bertram was one of the yacht manufacturers that we worked with, and we got to watch them build these huge yachts, these multi-million-dollar yachts. And some these yachts would take upwards of a year and a half, 2 years to make some of these yachts, depending upon what they were making. And a lot of credit goes to the people who make these boats. It takes a lot of patience, and it's hard work.
An art. It really
it's
is.
hard work. So my hat's off to you, my friend. I wish you the best.
It's definitely, boat building is definitely an art. And, it's funny that you mentioned 5200 because boat building it's an essential part of boat building 5200. But when you use it and work with it, you'll realize that you get 5200 into places you never thought possible. One little drop of 5200 can go like 100 miles, I think.
It's amazing stuff. had never experienced anything. If you're not familiar with what we're talking about, this stuff cures with water. We think about a sealant. It has to be out in the air and let it dry. And no. This stuff, the more wet it gets, the more that it cures, and it never breaks down. I don't think I've ever seen it break down ever, regardless of what you subject it to.
I've actually seen motors hang off the back of boats with no bolts in it because of the
5200. Yeah, it's amazing stuff. Yeah, it just brings back some memories, and one of those memories that is quite vivid with me is how hard these people have to work to get this stuff. And when they're done, of course, it's a gorgeous thing. When you're finished, the end result is a beautiful final product that people get to enjoy. But it is hard work. My hat's off to you. Like I said, you have my respect. I've seen it firsthand. I know how difficult it can be, especially the engineering component. Are you guys doing the engineering as well? Or are you having someone else do that for you?
We are, yeah. So the only thing that we did not engineer so far to date was our hull for our 30.
Mm-hmm.
The actual hull bottom was designed by Michael Peters.
Mm-hmm. I know the name, but I don't know from where.
Very well-renowned nautical engineer. He's done Valhalla and Mag Bay and Invincibles. So going into an offshore market, we felt that it was kind of necessity to have a good name attached to the hull bottom anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of the boat was engineered by us.
All right, is the offshore a step, or is it a deep V? Is it what kind of hull?
She's got a very sharp entry in the front, and she's with a Michael Peters hull. She's a twin step for a 30. So she's a 30 twin step.
Sweet.
And here's something that's very cool about Paul also. I met Paul many years ago now. He was the kind of guy that would take this awesome enclosed trailer and do on-site tournament updates. So he'd have guests come into his cool. He had a front porch. He had chairs, and people would come in and do interviews. It was called Fish Pod Network, and they had a show. I believe it was once a week, I think.
Wow.
And we were introduced because we put an alarm and a tracker on his trailer just to make sure that when we left it someplace at a marina, it wouldn't get hijacked and taken. And the friendship has grown, and I'm so thrilled to see you go from working for a boat builder to being a boat builder. It's pretty exciting for me.
It's
and
awesome
a
to watch.
family-owned business.
It's awesome to watch the companies start up and go, and see how hard people. This is everything. They're everything. So they put everything they have into it. It's awesome. When I was working with the 3M company, of course, marine was only one of the things. We had quite a few different things. And there were so many different little companies that were starting up, and watching them grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't know if they're even around anymore. One of them was called Sensormatic. It was a small company, a very small company that started out and just continued to grow and grow and grow. Another one that we watched grow was, and it skips my mind now, Motorola. Motorola wasn't that big, years ago. It was a little place, and so it's really it's kind of an awesome thing. It's like watching a child grow almost. You see the small company, and then you watch and you look at them a year later, and oh my goodness, and another year later, holy smokes! So I wish you well, my friend. I hope you expand in that direction as well. That you're able to continue growing and doing what you love. You have to love doing it. It's not something that you do for, I got a job. It's designing boats and building boats. I learned a while back you have to really love what you're doing. It's not something just as a job, like I said earlier. It's a passion. Maybe that's the better word. Has to be a passion involved.
Definitely. I've always lived by the motto, it's not work if it's something you enjoy.
There you go. Yeah. And if it's a passion that you have.
It is. It's really a cool thing to watch these things come from a dry woven piece of material and resin.
Yeah.
And become these massive things on the water that are, that take you everywhere. So it's a cool process to watch. It's a cool process to be a part of. I've worked in the industry for a long time, so it's kind of nice to be able to get in there and
do yourself.
Find all the things that you didn't like about something, some things that you did like, and put something together that people can really enjoy.
I want to go back too, because Paul, prior to getting into the boat building business, huge amount of charity work on the west coast of Florida, and I don't want to have you leave without telling us all the wonderful the child tournaments you do and everything you do to raise money and awareness and let kids go fish even if it's off a wall. So can you share some of the awesome events that you have and the money that you raise, and because you always have put back into the community and get out there when you're exhausted and just make another event happen. So share that with us.
So I'm a big part of Reeling Freedom Foundation. I'm one of the board members for that, and it's a foundation that raises money, and they take veterans and first responders, both active and inactive, fishing. It's a way to get away from the trials and tribulations that they deal with on a day-to-day basis or have dealt with on a day-to-day basis. Gets those guys out on the water. So that's one of the organizations that I do. And then we do I team with, Angler Armory, which is another local organization here as well. And we put on a huge fishing clinic right before school starts. So right at the end of the summer. It's an event called Fish Kids. And we usually fish close to 500 kids on a seawall. And it's I gotta tell you, it's you think of 500 kids, and you're talking age ranging from 4 to teenagers, high schoolers, and you think, oh my God, it's got to be chaotic. And I will tell you that you put kids on a seawall all together and fishing, you will find that the older kids who fish all the time will fish less and help the younger kids. You don't hear any screaming. You don't hear any arguing. You don't hear anything. It's kids out there enjoying themselves. And honestly, the event was designed to get kids to put the games down, to put all the phones down, and just go spend some time with their families.
Wow.
And we have about 50 vendors that come out, including we've got the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. We've got manufacturers of marine products. The Marine Corps comes out with their amphibious tanks, and the kids get to enjoy a bunch of other things as well as just fishing. But the fishing side of it teaches these kids to give back to their community. Just like we give back to our community, they learn how to do that themselves. So every fishing tournament has a entry fee. So these kids have an entry fee to get into this tournament, and that is a $5 unwrapped toy and a canned food item. So that stuff goes to local food banks
God, I love
and
it.
to
Wow.
organizations that have kids that don't have Christmas. So
What is this called again, Paul?
the event is called Fish Kids. Unfortunately, we didn't get to run it last year because of COVID, but
Yeah.
we are hoping that we are going to be able to run it again this year, which would be in August. And I'll make sure I get you guys all the information. I have people that come from the East Coast to come to this event because they enjoy it so much.
That is awesome.
And Paul, we certainly want to share pictures of your new boat that you're out there on, the 21-footer. So get me some pictures during the week, and we'll put them up on our Facebook page and kind of share that around. What's the wait time for one of your boats?
So the wait time right now is about 12 to 14 weeks for a build. And of course, this is a factory direct company. So you're not buying this boat from a dealer. You're buying directly from the manufacturer, and myself and Craig are actually a critical part of every build. So it's a one-on-one basis with the customer. So we do that to keep it's a family. We keep it as a family business. It's a family relationship. So when you buy in, you're buying into a family.
There you go.
So
there you go.
That's just the way we like to keep it. So we'll actually be on the east coast of Florida next week. We leave here Wednesday to head to West Palm Beach for the West Palm Beach Boat Show. So if your listeners are in the area, come on down to the West Palm Beach Boat Show and come check out Blacktip Boats.
What booth are you in there, Paulie?
Well, you put me on the spot there. I'm not really sure what booth number we're at.
Hey, you know what? You're out on the water. That's all that matters right now.
That's why she just got back to the shop. So.
All right, my friend. Well, we have run out of time rapidly. I am so grateful for what you have just told me about the Fish Kids thing. Man, my gosh, that's awesome. And we definitely want to bring that up again. That's one of the things I love to promote. The whole thing with fishing for me was about my family. It's a long story, but I'm ever so grateful for people like you who are giving back and teaching people to give back. That's really where we make a difference in society. We make a better world where we can teach others to give back as well. They're giving and then they give back. That's you can't ask for more. It's a win-win. That's the best, everybody.
It is.
You can't do better than win-win. And that's what we're talking about. So thank you, my friend. God bless you. Wish you an awesome day. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you.
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. I appreciate it. My best to your family. Look forward to seeing you next week. And it's always awesome when you call in and share your stories.
I appreciate your guys' time. You guys have yourself a wonderful, wonderful Sunday.
God bless you, my friend.
Have a great one.
Thank you. Yes, Carolyn, if you would please keep in touch with him. As this comes up, we'd like to promote it in whatever way we can. Help. I want to be able to help in whatever way we can. I think it's awesome. 500 kids? Can you imagine? 500 kids. I was going to pull my hair out, and I was trying to raise 7.
And, he didn't even mention, I think not the year before last, they even had Coast Guard helicopters flying over top the kids and coming down low enough to get some of the blade air on the kids. So, and I tried to get over there. It was a little bit long of a drive, but I got to make sure that I hook up with him. He's a really good guy, and his wife's been going through a lot of difficulties the last couple of years, as we all know, and she's doing well, and that's all that matters. And so he stepped up to the plate, took care of his family, and now he's going full guns to that boat brand. So we really want to make sure we can help him.
Excellent. All right. Well, we are all out of time. Carolyn, thank you so much for being so gracious with your time. Sunday mornings, waking up early just to sit on the phone and yak with me. I'm so grateful for that. I really appreciate it. I wish you an awesome day, my friend.
Absolutely. And tight lines to all of our listeners. We'll catch you next Sunday. And
talk to you in a week.